What's up, PTB Nation? Welcome to night number 6 of Parking the Bus Euro 2020. It is episode number, I think we're at 47 now. This is, I believe, the 47th episode of the Parking the Bus podcast here on the PTB Media Network. As you know, I am the Mr. Mike Agustino, and tonight I'm riding solo, but not really. All right. Fade My Plays couldn't be here tonight. He was working late, and it's not a problem at all. Tonight is a unique night because I do have a video to play later from another contributor. So when we get to the portion of the show where we talk about the preview or the predictions for tomorrow's matches, I've got a special contribution from another contributor, all right, from the BTV family. So I'm very thankful to everybody over there at BetterThan.Vegas that has been lending talent and lending their time to me for this project. And I hope everybody is enjoying this Euro 2020 as much as I am. Now, today, the Azzurri took the field again. Que bello, que bello. They did it again. Somebody tell me, when did the Italian national team become the 2008 Spanish team? They remind me of them so much. Not that, and I'm not saying that to put them at a spot where I'm trying to put undue pressure on them. That's not what I mean. I mean the idea and the philosophy and the way that they play and the way that they move the ball. And it's not tiki-taka. It's very much with a purpose. And when those outside players, when especially Berardi runs at defenders, oh man, that kid is running at defenders. He is twisting them around, turning them in circles, breaking ankles on the dribble. I love watching this Italian team play. I am just head over heels with this team. I know it's only been Turkey and Switzerland, so I'm not getting carried away here. I know that there is a lot still to go. There's a lot of teams when they can do this against, a more defensively sound team, maybe against, I don't know, against a Germany, even when they can do this against, obviously, France. So if we compare everyone to France, then nobody's going to look any good. So I don't want to say that. I'm not going to compare them to France, obviously, but basically, when they take on some of the top 6 teams, okay, so you have your top 6, I don't know, France, Portugal, Netherlands, Italy, definitely England. Just off the top of my head, I do keep Germany in that top 6 right now. I think that they are one of the 6 best teams in this competition. I can't wait to see this Italian team take on one of those teams because I think it's going to be a great, great matchup. I think that this team has one heck of a belief and one heck of a passion. And when they sing their national anthem, man, I can't get over it. They did it again. They did it again today. When they sing that national anthem, they're not singing an anthem. They're ready to go to battle. It's a battle cry. And there's just, I've never seen an Italian team so enjoyable. But you know what? I do have something to say. Okay? And Italian football, for one, is on the up. We all know that. Serie A is on the up. Those of you who say that Serie A is for old players, well, guess what? When you look at that ticker there on the bottom of your screen, for those of you watching right now live on Periscope, on YouTube, or on www.parkingthebusmedia.com, wherever you are watching, you will know that the top goal scorers there is at the end of that scroll. Let's talk about the top scorers for a minute. Okay. You've got Schick from Czech Republic, but after him, you've got Romelu Lukaku, you've got Cristiano Ronaldo, and now you've got Ciro Immobile. What league do those last 3 that I mentioned, what league do they play in? That's right. They play in Serie A. Serie A is back. Yeah, they're all over 30. Does it matter? Well, Lukaku's younger than the other 2, but you know what I'm saying. Because the crew on ESPN FC hit this dead on the head earlier. They were talking about Immobile, but they also talked about Gareth Bale, who we'll talk about today. They talked about Cristiano Ronaldo and how these players, Karim Benzema, on the wrong side of 30, but they know where they are. And they do exactly what their teams need them to do at this stage of their career. They've all become such intelligent players. They're not just athletes anymore. They're footballers. They've got it up here. Ciro Immobile. How many goals has this guy scored in the last 3 seasons? I mean, how can you doubt? And I can't help right now but to be a believer in this Italian team. This team has all kinds of potential, and I can't wait, like I said, to see them play one of the big guns, because I think it's going to be a cracking match. Absolutely phenomenal match to watch. All right, to everybody listening on the podcast, a special hello to you as well. Remember to follow the show, share the show. You can find Parking the Bus on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, on Amazon, just by asking Alexa to play Parking the Bus podcast. All right, this is episode 47, and they're all up there. They're coming out every night now. So you got to keep up with them, people. You got to keep up with the episodes now. And as you know, over at parkingthebusmedia.com, all the episodes are there as well. There's something like, I think, 15 or 20 episodes available right there in the player. If you can't find it there, then all you got to do is go to your podcast platform that you prefer and download the show from there. All right. And also a special hello right now to everybody watching on my Facebook page. If you're watching on my Facebook page, please switch to YouTube. Go to YouTube, type in PTB Media Network, hit subscribe, hit the little bell next to it so you can be alerted when I go live. All right, 3 matches to talk about tonight, okay? Some of the groups starting to take shape. We got a team that's already into the round of 16, obviously. We really got, in my opinion, 2 teams that are a lock to be in right now. We got one very close to going home. So things are starting to take shape right now. And we've also got some storylines. The latest is Christian Eriksen continuing to look like he's doing well. He's recovering. He's comfortable. That's good news. We spoke yesterday about Cristiano Ronaldo hitting the record in the Euro. Okay. Also yesterday, did anybody see the video? It's circulating across the web of the parachute skydiver landing in the Munich arena last night. He was representing an organization called Greenpeace, and Greenpeace today apologized for the mishap on the landing. This guy people were injured from what I understand, but this guy came into the stadium, and I don't know if the wind caught him or what happened, but the video is intense. He's gliding along the bowl of the stadium, and I think he hits the seats at one point before the wind picks him up and takes him again. And Greenpeace is apologizing for the mishap, but they didn't do the best job communicating what the purpose of this was. A protest. But I feel like when you have mishaps like that, the message of the protest kind of gets lost. But yeah, pretty scary moment for those in attendance. I think it was a pretty scary moment. All right, we're going to take a quick short break, about 15 seconds. That's about it, okay? Those of you on the podcast, obviously, we're going to pay a bill. And when you come back, we are going to get right into the first match of the day. It was Finland taking on Russia here on the East Coast. It was bright and early this morning, and we will start to talk about that and see how Group B is shaping up, because Group B played before Group A today. All right, this is the Parking the Bus podcast. It's episode 47. I'm the Mr. Mike Agustinu. Again, follow me on Twitter and on Instagram at PTB_media, and also hit up www.parkingthebusmedia.com. We'll be right back. And welcome back to Parking the Bus, episode 47. here on the PTB Media Network, wherever you get your podcasts and your live streams you are watching right now, or you are listening to the podcast. And I am happy to have you all here with me. Thank you for hanging with me. This is night number 6. Like I said, this is the 6th night in a row that I've been sitting here in this chair talking into this microphone. Like I said in the opening, Fade My Plays couldn't be here with me tonight, but he'll be back tomorrow, and we'll be able to resume the format we were doing in the 2-person format, which I was starting to get used to and I was liking. But back to the solo format for tonight, and we start with Finland versus Russia. Like we said, we are in the St. Petersburg Stadium in St. Petersburg, Russian Federation. The referee tonight was Danny McKelly of the Netherlands, and we'll go into the 11, starting with the visiting side from Finland. Lukas Radecki is the goalkeeper, and he is a pretty good goalkeeper. I think he had a pretty good game tonight, or earlier today, I should say. Considering it was a defeat, I thought he really made some good saves and kept his team in this match, and kept the goal difference is going to become so crucial going into the 3rd match day, because the teams who have lost by more than a goal have an even more uphill battle. Once you add these 3rd place teams and you start allowing, 4 out of 6 3rd place teams to advance, what happens after that is a lot of teams get the same amount of points. And when they have the same amount of points, you have to break the tie with goal difference, because they're not going to come from the same group. So within the group, they have the head-to-head to break the tie. But once you're in different groups, you obviously didn't play each other. It comes down to goal difference. You've really got to score goals when you win these matches. That's why it was so key for Portugal, for example, yesterday, to get 3 goals and not to sit back and just win and be happy with the 1-0 victory. It put a lot of pressure on both. It puts, I should say, a lot of pressure on both Germany and on France to have to score extra goals against Hungary as well. The 3 across the back here for Finland, we've got Toivio, we've got Arajudi, and we've got Daniel O'Shaughnessy in the back. The wing backs are Jukka Raitala and Jere Uronen. 3 in the center of midfield, anchored by Rasmus Schuler. Glenn Kamara is to his left, and Robin Laud is to his right. Timu Pukki and Joel Pojanpalo are the 2 forwards for Finland. Russia is coming out in a 3-4-2-1. Their goalkeeper is Metev Safanov. They're 3 across the back: Dimitri Baranov, Igor Divev, and Georgi Giskia. 4 in front of them, the wingback Mario Fernandes. The 2 inside central midfielders, Magomed Ozedev and Roman Zobnin, and Daler Kuziev is the left-sided midfielder in that 4, with 2 attack-minded midfielders or 2 withdrawn forwards, Alexei Miranchuk and Alexander Golovin, and they're playing behind the captain Artem Dzuba. So this was a match that I thought, I have to say, I'm a little bit disappointed that I guess I was getting caught up in the story of Finland a little bit, as it was unfortunate what obviously this is their first time stepping on the pitch after the I don't want to say it wasn't a tragedy, but I guess the episode or the traumatic experience of what we now know was the heart attack to Christian Eriksen on a Saturday. So this was their first time back on a pitch. And it says here, so football understandably took a back seat in Finland's 1-0 victory over Denmark on Saturday, with concern over Christian Eriksen's health taking priority. And they were wearing T-shirts today to support Christian Eriksen in their warm-ups and in their walkout. While the result was secondary importance, it did represent success for Markku Kanerva's men, who had Joel Pojampalo, and they had his goal, and they had Lukas Radecki's penalty save to thank for their victory. A win against the Danes also ended the 6-game winless run that put them in good standing here in Group B. Russia, on the other hand, were no match for the world's number one ranked team as they fell. That's who I forgot to mention when I said the top six. My mind is Belgium. I want to see Italy play Belgium. This is off topic, but I want to see Italy play Belgium right now. I think that would be one absolutely phenomenal entertaining match to watch. I hope it happens. I do. I hope it happens. But again, getting back to Russia, as they were no match for them, they fell 3-0 to Roberto Martinez's well-drilled and creative Belgian side. The 3-goal deficit means they are bottom of Group B going into this match, and they've also stretched their winless European Championship run to 6 games. Reassuring for Stanislav Cherkasov's men, however, is that they've never lost 4 in a row in this competition, and they have also claimed 4 wins from 4 encounters with today's opponents. We've read the 11s already, and an interesting fact here: since the dissolution of the USSR, the Soviet Union, the Russian Federation have won all 4 of their group games against Finland, which just said scoring at least 3 goals in each of those matches. 15 goals for, 1 against. So that's the backdrop for this one. And in the 5th minute, we thought we had a goal for Finland. And like I said, I was kind of getting on this Finland train. I thought they would be a real nice story for this competition. Definitely overmatched, perhaps, at times. But after they got that win, I mean, we talked about it here on this show. They were expected to get nothing. They were hoping for a point. And now they've got 3. And now there's a very real reality that they may even have enough to advance. We don't know yet. We won't know until, all the groups have played 3 matches, or at least till we get close to the end to see if that's going to hold up. Last tournament, Portugal were the winners. They advanced with 3 points from the group stage. Now, the key was they drew all 3 matches, so their 0 goal difference was enough to beat out teams who won a match and lost 2, because they were more than likely going to have a negative goal difference when you lose 2 matches and win 1, unless you win that 1 match by a large margin and lose the other 2 by smaller margins. So it looked like Finland had taken the lead here. Raitala nips in front of Kuziev, and on the right-hand side, before delivering an inviting left-footed cross towards the 6-yard area, where Podjampalo pounces to head past Safanov from close range. Finland think they have opened the scoring before VAR intervenes and indicates that the forward was in fact offside from the right wingback's initial cross. And in the 9th, Fernandez clips over the top of the chest of Zuba. However, Finland's 3-man defense combined to dispossess the Russian captain. O'Shaughnessy, Arajuri, and Toivio all did excellent against Denmark, and they've got off to a strong start here. We have belief in the Finnish side, but in the 10th, it's Kuziev overlapping Golovin before sneaking a pass into Miranchuk, who squares across to the right of the goal. Ozdayev is completely unmarked at the back post, and with just Radecki to beat, he rushes his right-footed strike to miscue his effort over the crossbar from close range. A great effort goes a-begging for Cheryshov's men, representing, of course, the Federation of Russia. We get a ball off the post in the 14th. It's Mirachuk, twists and turns, disguises a pass into the feet of Zuba, and he uses the defender as a screen, aims for the bottom left corner with his right foot. Radecki can only stand as he watches the forward's efforts strike the post before bouncing away. Russia starting to come alive in front of their home fans. This was a must-win match for them. We already talked about that. They took a beating from Belgium in match day 1. So they need to first they need to win. Second, they need to chip away at that goal difference, because again, that is going to come in handy. When they go into this 3rd match, they need a result because their goal difference is poor, and it's negative right now. It's not going to hold up. I'm 99% confident that that 3 points with that goal difference is not going to hold up. And if they lose the third game, obviously their goal difference is going to go down at the minimum another goal. We get a play here, and it's a block here in the 21st minute. Gianpaolo thinks he is one-on-one with Safonov after a smart pass from Lod, but Diviev produces an excellent last-ditch sliding tackle to block the forward's right-footed attempt inside the area. Without the defender's intervention there, it looked likely that Gianpaolo would put his team ahead with a close-range finish past the goalkeeper. Nevertheless, Finland get a corner, and they go short with it, and the chance fades away. Glenn Kamara goes into the referee's book for a yellow card. He becomes the first name in the book for a late challenge in midfield in the 22nd. We get, unfortunately, an injury here. We're in the 25th minute, and after winning the initial header to nearly tee up Zubia, Fernandes remains down, and it looks like he landed fairly heavy on his back. The Russian medical team rush on to tend to the right back, and the game pauses for a brief moment or two. And he stayed down after winning that aerial duel, landing awkwardly on his back. And that's going to be it for the Brazilian-born Mario Fernandes, Russian naturalized. He will be coming off, and Karavev is coming on in his place. 27th minute, another player goes in the book. It's Dimitri Baranov this time, as he joins Kamara in the referee's book. We go through the rest of the first half here, and it's some even play. 35th, O'Shaughnessy slowly wanders forward, launching a long throw-in into the area. The other two Finnish center backs go forward and hover near the near post, but the throw-in finds the hands of Safonov, who towers above his opponents to claim that loose ball. And on the way to halftime, we finally get a little bit of a change here, as a cross from deep sets for the head of Zubia until Radecki, comes racing out of his goal confidently to claim the loose ball. But at that point, the referee's assistant shows there'll be 6 minutes of added time in this first half, largely due to the stoppage to Fernandes' injury. And in the 45th +2 is where it came, as finally Russia get on the board in this tournament, playing on home soil. Intricate play from Cheryshov's men sees Zubia find space on the edge of the area. The Russian captain offloads to the right of the goal to Marinchuk, who drives forward, cutting inside, curling a left-footed strike into the top left corner. Marinchuk uses O'Shaughnessy as a screen for his shot. Radecki has no chance of stopping that one, and Russia take the lead. And you heard it, Fade My Plays last night predicted that Russia were going to win this game. I was on the other side of the fence. I think I was more hopeful than I was analytical or logical, but he said that he said he loved the money that the house was putting, or that the bookies were putting on Russia to win this game, because they had just been smacked. They had to respond. It's one of those things. You've been hit in the mouth. How do you respond? Do you just get hit again, or do you come back swinging? This time, Russia came back swinging after they had settled into this match, after they had survived some early offense from Finland, and they get on the board first. A short passing sequence seats Marinchuk and Zubia exchange 1-2, with the former making it to the right of goal. Marinchuk has 3 defenders around him, but he uses them to his advantage. And like we said, it was a nice assist to Artem Zubia, the captain for Russia. And Marinchuk's opener for Russia was the first shot on target in the game. The goal was Marinchuk's 6th for Russia in his 35th cap, and his first since 2019 versus San Marino, ending a run of 9 appearances without a goal. Finally, we get another chance here, and Zubia nearly doubles it with a headed effort, but it's a nice save from Radecki. Referee blows his whistle for halftime, finally at 45+7. Gianpaolo thought he had given Finland the lead, like we said, inside of 10 minutes, but little by little, slowly but surely, Russia started to gain some control and some confidence in this match. And at the break, they are the ones on the board. They are the ones with the small lead as we go into the second half. And in the 54th, we have a save here. Kamara works his side up the pitch as he drives inside from the left flank before playing a reverse pass to Pukki. The forward squares up the two defenders as he drifts onto his right foot before powering towards the goal. Pukki, however, doesn't find the corner, and Serenev saves it comfortably in the middle of his goal. And we start to get some substitutions here in the 61st. First, Ozdoyev is off after spurning a glorious first half opportunity, and Zemed Letdinov comes in for Ozdoyev, and that's it for his day. It is Finland's turn to substitute in the 67th. Canvera comes out and makes his first substitution. It is Kauko for Schuler as we move along. And this game was a little bit, there was nothing surprising in this game. So it's a lot of effort, a lot of high work rate for Russia, but for Finland, but it was little execution in the key phases of the game, in the key areas of the game. And then a shocking substitution in the 75th minute. First, you had Pieri Soiri coming in for Jukka Raitala. But then you get the guy who I think was the best player for Finland in this match, which was Teemu Pukki. And he is substituted off as Lassi Lapalainen comes on in for the Finns. And again, we get some possession. We get some ball movement, but at the end of the day, the equality is not there in front of goal. This is what the Finnish national team is. I mean, let's be fair to them, okay? They are not some of the other national teams we talk about here. If they're going to score goals, they're going to have to work very hard for them. Remember the goal they scored against Denmark wasn't anything spectacular. It was the fact that Kasper Schmeichel was distraught and shouldn't have been on the pitch. He was psychologically not in a state of mind to play football, especially as a goalkeeper. And, he gave up a goal he almost never concedes. Lapalainen gives away possession in the 80th, but a poor pass forward means that Zubia can't capitalize on the chance down at the other end. Zikia produces an important block to stop Sori's cross from getting towards the near post as well. Another substitution in the 84th. This time, both teams make one. Fredrik Jensen comes on for Juna Toivio, and Alexander Sobolev replaces the captain, Artem Zubia. And we still got another substitution. It's Maxim Mukhin replacing Alexei Miranchuk. And Kauko has worked hard since his second half introduction into the match, but he is far too enthusiastic as he hacks down Baranov near the right-handed touchline, with Finland chasing an equalizer. Again, we start to ask the question, did Kanerva withdraw Pukki too early? I say yes. I know it's very easy to sit here in this chair in Boston, Massachusetts, and criticize a manager who's on the touchline in St. Petersburg, Russia. But from what I can see, I thought that he made that move too soon. I thought Pukki was the one pulling the strings in that Finnish side, and they're missing him as he's not there. Zikia goes into the book in the 88th, and in the 90th, it's O'Shaughnessy getting above Sobolev, and he leaves his opposite man on the floor. Referee puts him in the book. Kamara hovers in possession in midfield as he hesitates before launching long. Arajuri is forward but doesn't win the header. A sea of Russian shirts speed forward to counterattack, winning a throw-in on the left-hand side as Kuzayev, he gets a cross in, but it gets turned away by O'Shaughnessy. That's in the 90th +3. 90th +5, Lapalainen outpaces Baranov and is shown inside where he finds Kauko. The substitute midfielder looks for Pojampolo in the middle. However, the final pass once again lacks that quality. That's what we talked about. That's the difference between the teams that are happy to be here and the teams that want to win this thing. Okay, that is at the end of the day the difference. They're all good footballers. They all can make passes. They all position well. They all can read the game. It's the quality to make the right play and to execute in the 96th minute when your team is losing to get that point or to get that winner or that equalizer. Either way, it's that class in the final third, and it's that class under the most intense of pressure that separates the great teams from the good teams, from the average teams, from the below average teams. There is literally a hierarchical order that that teams fall into when they can either have that quality or don't. If you have quality in front of goal, you can beat anybody on the planet on any given day. And listen, when I coach, when I coached, I wanted to build my team out of the back first. I didn't want to concede goals, usually because it was very rare I had players with the kind of quality in front of goal to score goals. So I knew I couldn't concede. So I would start out of the back. When you have those key and those rare guys, and some of these teams have 4 or 5 on the same team, which is what makes this tournament so special. It makes the World Cup so special, the Copa America so special, is that you have teams of 3, 4, 5 guys with that kind of unique quality all together on the pitch. That makes the difference. And Finland does not pick up a point today because they lack the quality. I think they put in a solid effort. They gave it a good run. Possession went 42-58 in favor of Russia, but total shots 11-14 in favor of Russia, or 14-11 in favor of Russia. Finland hangs there with them. Chances created 11 for Finland, 12 for Russia. Finland it hangs. Russia connects more accurate passes, 483 at an 83% success rate. Finland connects 329. Again, that leaves a lot to be told in the story when you have just simple numbers. Were these passes lateral? Were these passes back? Were these passes forward? Were they diagonal? Were they over 20 yards? Were they under 20 yards or meters? Put in the unit of measurement you prefer wherever you live. So just by judging the accurate pass total, that can be such a misleading stat. It's like the possession stat. Without any context, it doesn't tell you anything. I mean, you can have the two center backs square the ball to each other 5, 6, 7, 8 times. If nobody pressures them, you're going to have a heck of a total of connected passes, but it's pointless. Looking at here, duels won. So Finland won the battle in duels. This is one of the stats I like to see because that tells me which team is got the higher work rate on most cases. But of course, Russia sees more of the ball. Finland sees more of winning the duels. They made more tackles. Russia attempted 20 dribbles and only succeeded 8, while Finland attempted 9 and succeeded 6. Finland attempted 18 tackles in this match. They had 15 interceptions. Finland worked. There's no question about it. It was not per lack of heart, but it was per lack of class or lack of ability that let them down today. And right now, you can see the tables along the bottom of the screen. But for those of you listening on the podcast, I'll just read you the Group B table as it sits right now. Belgium, Russia, Finland, all with 3 points, and Denmark is 4th right now with none. But they play tomorrow with an opportunity to pick up their first points, and they're playing in Copenhagen. So, when we get to the point where we preview the next day, we'll talk about that. Let's quickly go into another great match. I mean, I'm going to try to transition this as smoothly as possible. But what a day for Wales! Okay, what a day for the Big Red. They their big players showed up today. Their big players came to play. Aaron Ramsey, Gareth Bale. Yeah, Gareth Bale missed a penalty kick, but he was phenomenal today. He played one of the best matches I've seen him play in a long, long time. And I read this on Twitter from a pundit, and it's escaping me right now which one said it, but it was that Wales have this thing. If they can get to tournaments, if they can get themselves qualified, they have the individual quality in guys like Bale and Ramsey to do something and to make an impact. Because when you get into these tournaments and it's a 3-game group stage and then a knockout stage, guess what? That individual quality gives you the opportunity to advance because consistency becomes a lot less important. You're only playing 3 matches. We're not playing a 24-team single table championship. If we were, it'd be a completely different story. Wales would probably be they would certainly be, near the relegation zone if that were the case, because the consistency isn't there. But when they can get themselves to these tournaments, when they can get themselves qualified, Wales have some real ability and they have some real difference makers in the squad that on any given night in Baku, on a hot summer night in Baku, they can turn it around. And how unfortunate, how disappointing must it be right now for Turkey? How many of you had them as your dark horse? I'm going to admit I knew and know very little about this Turkish team. Okay. So they were not my dark horse for that reason. I know they have a good record this year. They had a good record coming into this competition. Won a lot of games, but they've been overmatched in both matches. You also got a great game today from the Welsh player there from Manchester United, Daniel James. I thought he was really, really good down the left today. He had one play where I really thought that he should have done better. He was breaking down the left. He was getting in behind even. I think he had actually run past the back line, and he had who did he have running? It was Joe Allen, I think. Perhaps it was Kiefer Moore even. Maybe it was Kiefer Moore at the back post. And what he needed to do was, before getting too deep into the attacking zone, he needed to slide that ball on a curve right onto the run of his teammate so that it bent away from the backtracking defenders and right back onto the run of his teammate, which I want to say was Kiefer Moore. Rather than doing that, he went for the aerial cross off his left foot. He crossed it over his head, and Wales missed a golden opportunity there to go ahead, but they do eventually get the goal here, okay? And Wales get the goal, and actually that was in the second half already, if I'm not mistaken. So they were winning when he made that mistake. It was a first half goal from Aaron Ramsey. After Ramsey had missed, he had made 2 perfectly timed runs in the first half, if you can remember. And Gareth Bale both times found the space and pinpointed the pass right onto his run. And then again, he missed the quality in front of goal. We just talked about with Finland lacking that quality in front of goal. Wales is a notch above them because they do have the quality. They lack the consistency. Because Aaron Ramsey could have had a hat trick today if he had that quality, or he could have had 2 out of these 3 goals if he had the type of finishing ability of a Lewandowski, or if I mean, there's only one of those, but you know what I'm saying. If he had that type of class, the Harry Kanes and the Cristiano Ronaldos and the, name Romelu Lukaku, Ciro Immobile. When you talk about these guys who have that class in front of goal, that thing that is so hard, that so few players on the face of planet Earth have. So that's that upper tier. I think Ramsey is not at that tier, but he is above what the Finnish players have. And eventually he gets his goal today. He gets enough opportunities where he eventually finds the back of the net. And Wales go into the halftime break ahead, 1-0. And they push on. And what'd you guys think about these kits for Wales today? These green and gold kits, kind of. The commentator said they remind him of Norwich City, who just had a pretty good season themselves. And they I like they kind of look like the Australia kits too. A shout out to my buddy Timo. He put it out, I believe. I believe he's the one that put out the tweet. of the Wallabies rugby jersey, the Australia rugby jersey, side by side with this Welsh alternate kit. As I liked the kit a lot, actually. So we're in the second half, and it's a lot more of the same from Wales, and Turkey's chances are few and far between. Okay, they have a few of them. They're working hard. You can't say they're not working for it, but it's just not clicking in that final third. Yilmaz here, Burak Yilmaz, the captain of this team, the just won the French league with Lille. He just won Ligue 1. Gets in. He gets a steal. He on pace. He gets in behind the defenders, but nobody from Turkey is able to accompany him up the pitch. He's going into the box down the right center channel. Gets into the penalty area. He's looking to square for somebody who should be running towards the back post. There's nobody, so he forces a shot from a bad angle, and it doesn't trouble the goalkeeper at all. Let's quickly, Danny Ward is the goalkeeper. Wales 4-2-3-1. Danny Ward is the goalkeeper, like I just said. The four in the back: Connor Roberts, Chris Metham, Joe Roden, and Ben Davies or Davis. Again, depending where in the world you live. If you are in the UK, you're probably going to pronounce that Davis. Here in America, we say Davies, so I'm going to say Davies. Double pivot in midfield, Joe Morel and Joe Allen. And then very good attacking midfield trio of Aaron Ramsey, Gareth Bale, and Daniel James playing behind the striker, Kiefer Moore. For Turkey, they've got Kasir in goal. They got Zeki Salik at right back, Kanahan and Kaglar Soyuncu is the center back pairing, and Umet Meras is the left back with Oke Yokoslu in the holding midfield role. Four attacking midfielders in front of them: Under, Tufan, Kalhonglu, and Karaman behind, as we said, Burak Yilmaz. So 90th plus 5, and we get a goal from the substitute Roberts, as he comes on and he seals the 3 points. And you could see the supporters in tears, the Welsh supporters, I think roughly 400 Welsh supporters that made the trip out all the way to Baku. And if I'm not mistaken, John Champion was on the call here in the United States. And he says, just if you're wondering how far it is from Cardiff to Baku, it's further than flying from New York to Los Angeles. So just because they're in Europe, this is very, very far away. Of course, this match kicks off late. It kicked off, I think, at 9 p.m. in Baku, which was 12 p.m. here in the East Coast of the United States. I believe that was the kickoff time. And it was basically a home game for Turkey. So this is 3 hard-earned points for Wales. Now they get to pack their bags and head to Rome to take on the hottest team in the tournament. And why don't we go to that right now? Let's go to the game that everyone's talking about. Okay. We're talking Italy versus Switzerland. And this is a game I'm quite sure going to put on and fall asleep to tonight if I fall asleep. This was so good. They played so well that I think I could stay up all night watching it. Rome's Olympic Stadium is the site, of course, and the recorded attendance is 12,445 in the Olimpico. Sergei Karasev is the referee from Russia, and the lineup starting with Switzerland. Jan Sommer returns in goal. Nico Elvedi, Fabian Schär, and Manuel Akanji are the 3 in the back. Mababu and Ricardo Rodriguez as the wingbacks. Freuler and Granit Xhaka, the double pivot in midfield behind Sheridan Shaqiri. And he is the link-up play between the midfield and the 2 strikers, Breel Imbolo and Haris Seferovic, the guy I know as the Swiss Army knife. Shout out to Goal TV's Nino Torres, who gave him that nickname when calling the Portuguese league's matches on Goal TV this year. he called Haris Seferovic the Swiss Army knife. The problem with Haris Seferovic as a Swiss Army knife, yeah, he scored 22 goals, but he missed about 79 goals. So if he had scored just 30, we would have been second place at the, we would have been in second place, maybe contending for the title. But it just didn't work out that way. And that's the thing with Seferovic. He can score goals, but he needs a lot of chances. And it amazes me to an extent that the Swiss national team doesn't have someone better than him for that position. This manager just seems to like this 11. He doesn't change things. He went into this match, and again, shout out to Fade My Plays, because last night you heard him right here on this show say that this was a perfect matchup for the Azzurri. This was a perfect matchup for Italy. They matched up so well to this Swiss side, and he was right on the money as usual. As this was just a nightmare for Switzerland today, right from the get-go. So Italy playing in their 4-3-3 for Roberto Mancini. Gianluigi Donnarumma in goal, Giovanni Di Lorenzo, Leonardo Bonucci, Giorgio Chiellini, and Leonardo Spinazzola are the four in the back. Jorginho is the anchor in midfield in the number 6 role. Nico Barella to his right, Manuel Locatelli to his left, who had himself a breakout match today. And then the three in the attack. I love this trio. I absolutely love this trio. Ciro Immobile is the central striker, but he's got the talented and the quick Domenico Berardi to his right, and he's got the absolutely clinical and absolutely just pristine Lorenzo Insigne to his left. I love this Italian team. I know I keep saying that. This is I have been converted. I mean, you see the gear in the background there. You see the Forza Italia scarf, the Forza Azzurri, and you see the Italian flag, the tricolor behind it. Yep. Again, that's because I like my wife and she lets me do this podcast at night. My Italian wife. But I have to say, this team did something today that I want to share this with y'all tonight, because I owe something to this Azzurri. For the first time, my 5-year-old son, after this, he's gotten into this World Cup. This Euro. Before this Euro, my 5-year-old son saw me watching soccer and watching football, and I think he saw it as an obstacle, something to compete with for daddy's attention. A lot of times he would try to distract me. Sometimes he'll even take the remote. Like when there's a penalty kick, he's getting really clever. He'll take the remote and he will shut off the TV as soon as the penalty kick is about to be struck, so that I can't see what happened. But since this World Cup starts, and I don't know if it's because my son at 5 years old has this amazing thirst for knowledge and this amazing joy of geography. He's very intrigued by these countries playing against each other. And every day he goes, "Daddy, who's playing today?" And now he knew today. Yesterday he got all dressed up in his Portugal gear and he watched Portugal play and he was all happy. And today he was all fired up for the Azzurri, his other side. And after the game, he wanted to go practice in the yard. Now I'm working. I can't go play with him, obviously, but I see him outside practicing. I see him kicking the ball with my wife. And I'm thinking to myself, he likes this game. He told me he wants to play this fall. This may be one of the happiest days of my life. So, grazie Azzurri, grazie. Thank you, Azzurri. Thank you for whatever you did. I mean, this was such brilliant play that even a 5-year-old can see how well they played. And I mean, this was an absolute, any words I use here is going to be an injustice to this performance. It didn't take long at all. It was, who was it getting on the board for? I mean, we had a goal called back from VAR, and this was a little bit heartbreaking because Chiellini goes up for a header on a corner kick, and he misses it with his head. It catches his hand. It falls to his feet, and he hammers it past Jan Sommer for the goal. And we got 1-0 to Italy. It looks like you see is there a player in this tournament that plays with more passion and more love for this game than Giorgio Chiellini, at least right now. At this stage in his career, he knows his minutes are counting down. And perhaps the clock has even struck zero because he came out injured. It didn't look serious, but at his age and with the rest of the team in such form, who knows if we see Giorgio Chiellini in a significant role again. His goal is ruled out by VAR, and 5 minutes later he's subbed off through injury. Francesco Acerbi comes on, and he slots in just nicely. You don't miss anything with that change, and Bonucci takes the captain's armband from Chiellini, and the Italians press on. And in the 26th, here it comes. Manuel Locatelli makes a nice run, but even before that, it's a wonderful move from Italy as it's started by Locatelli out to Berardi. There's my man again, Berardi. This is a guy, I tweeted this today on my Mr. Benfica Twitter. I said, when it's Berardi running at defenders, and then I put flames. I used the flame emoji. This kid is fire. I love that this Italian team has players from Sassuolo, players from Atalanta, players from Lazio, players from Roma. You got a couple that play outside of Italy. It's not a null Juventus Inter type of squad. No, Roberto Mancini has pieced together this team and has not been biased towards any club. Got plenty of Napoli also represented in this club, in this national team, excuse me. And this goal was just beauty. And again, there is something real special about Berardi running at defenders, twisting and turning them. I mean, he cuts right, cuts left. He's like, and the defender they lose their balance trying to stay with his cuts and with his footwork. And then he when it looked like he had a chance to shoot, no, he's very aware. He's very aware. Either he sees out of the corner of his eye, or he knows Manuel Locatelli so well that he slides it right across the face of goal. Jan Sommer is helpless, absolutely helpless on this play. You can't put any burden of this on the goalkeeper. Manuel Locatelli hammers it home from the edge of the 6-yard box, and the ball is in the goal before Jan Sommer even realizes Locatelli is there. Berardi cuts inside from the right, and Akanji keeps backing away and letting him get into the box. See, Berardi is so good on the dribble and with so much pace that these defenders are afraid to step, because once they step and he goes around, they're beat. They're not catching him. So what happens here is Akanji ends up backing up all the way into a phenomenal angle for Berardi to slide it across goal. 1-0 to Italy, and we get plenty of olays and plenty of ball circulation, triangulation. You get very positive possession, very purposeful possession from the Azzurri here. 37th minute, and it's Spinazzola who looked like he was going to double the lead as he was allowed to travel a long way with the ball. And again, the Swiss defenders just continue to retreat. They continue to back up. They do not want to hold a line of confrontation. I don't know why the Swiss manager, or I should say Switzerland's manager, he's not Swiss, but he's managing the Swiss, why he did not adjust and make a higher line of confrontation. Because he's given these Italian players too much real estate to run. He's allowing them to come in from the wide positions and come in at an angle. And what happens is you're backing up and you're allowing these talented ball handlers to decide if they're going to run by you, if they're going to combine, because the guys in the middle of the park are so good at shifting and so good at getting themselves into the support positions square. And they're finding the open spaces in the middle. And they're combining 1-2 so well. They're switching the ball when it's on. They just make the right decision every time with the ball. I'm blown away by the decision making and just that sheer class and quality in everything that this Italian team is doing. Yes, I know this is against Switzerland and Turkey. I know this is not against Netherlands or Belgium. But the signs are there. If my question now and my concern for them is they're playing at such a high level. Is it even possible to continue this through 7 matches? Yes, I'm talking about 7 matches. Yes, I'm talking about Italy as a contender. They can go deep. They can beat teams. If they can hold this level, that's going to be very hard to do. But however, I was surprised that Mancini made very few changes from the team that beat Turkey because, like we said about France, they and like we said, we Portugal as well are known for this, is the slow build up because you got to have gas left at the end. And I think because Italy was at a very low part in their history, missing World Cup 2018, the low point in Italian football. I think there's an extra oomph right now, an extra energy to get out of the blocks flying in this tournament. Plus, they're playing at home, and I think they're feeding off that. The adrenaline levels are so high in this team. My concern is, can they keep this type of quality when the energy levels start to level out? Okay, when the adrenaline levels, and now you have to go to plan B. When a team doesn't let you circulate the ball like this, when a team decides to start getting chippy and getting physical. Now, I said in the beginning of the episode that I kind of view them like a similar philosophy to a 2008, 2012 Spain, but they're way more physical, which I like. They're not way more, but they're more cutting edge. I think they're less. If you're looking at waves in the ocean, Spain is very even. I think that this Italy team is more of a breaker. Okay, these are waves that break, if that makes any sense to you. But I really like this team, and their ability to run. They're really the best team I've seen so far at running at the opposition. In the 46th, we get a change. Gavranovic comes on for Seferovic, coming out of halftime. And it doesn't take long. It's the 52nd minute. It's 52nd minute. It's Locatelli again. Great goal. Italy win the ball back up high upfield, and Barella squares it to Locatelli just outside the box, and he has time to take a touch for drilling his shot across the goal into the far bottom corner. Sommer is rooted to the spot, and he can't even get close. I think by the time he sees it, this thing is in the goal again. I'm not sure if Sommer's view was obstructed. It's possible. But what Locatelli does here is something that's becoming somewhat of a dying art in this game. Smacking a shot from outside the area. You see so few of these now. There's such a desire and such an emphasis on most teams wanting to get into the area and wanting to, almost work the ball into the goal. I like these old-fashioned, hits from outside the area. This one was so well placed that the goalkeeper had no chance. Nico Barella picks up an assist as Italy came out of the gates with a high press to start the second half. And Barella travels a long way with it and does well to spot Locatelli in the pocket of space. And Locatelli does not hesitate, just picks his spot, puts it in. Another double substitution here for Switzerland, 57th minute. On comes Steven Zuber and Sylvain Wilmer. Out comes Mababu and Schär. It's all Italy, though. There's not much else to say. My guy comes in the 69th. I'm talking, of course, about Federico Chiesa. He replaces Lorenzo Insigne, who gets his second standing ovation in as many matches. And also, Rafael Toloi gives Domenico Berardi the rest of the night off in the 70th. And Jorginho slotting passes again. He slots this one through in the 75th to Chiesa on the left. Cuts inside, drives into the box, but ends up dragging his shot just wide of the far post. Another substitution, this time for Switzerland. Shaqiri's night is done. I think the manager is ready to rest him for match day 3 because Switzerland are in a must-win situation in match day 3 when they play Turkey. Yes, they're playing Turkey. In match day 3, and Ruben Vargas is his replacement. Yellow card to Bril Imbolo in the 79th, as he caught Barella with a late challenge, and he's booked for it. Jabril So replaces Remo Freuler in the 84th. 85th, we see Matteo Passina replace Manuel Locatelli. And we see Brian Cristante replace Nicolo Barella. And in the 89th, who else? Who else but the veteran, the classic striker, the true old-fashioned box presence, Ciro Immobile of Lazio. It's a mistake from Switzerland at the back, and it gets punished as Toloi closes down. So picks out Immobile, and he turns and has a go from range, firing his shot towards the bottom far corner. Sommer gets his hands to it, but can't stop it. Goes over the line. Italy get their second 3-0 result in as many matches, and they're going crazy in the Olimpico. It's a assist for the substitute Rafael Toloi. And what can I say? It's 3-0 to Italy. 3 points. If you haven't seen it there on the bottom of the screen in the table, here is what the table looks like now. In Group A, after 2 matches, Italy obviously top of the table with 6 points. They're the first team to 6 points in this competition. 6 goals for, none against. Second place is Wales with 4. Switzerland third, and Turkey are fourth with no points. Turkey not out yet, but it is very, very bleak. Turkey have a -5 goal difference right now. They need to not just win, but they need to win by a couple goals if they have any chance at all mathematically of advancing with 3 points. Switzerland, if they can beat Turkey, I think should be safe with 4 points. But again, that -3 goal difference, they're going to want to beat Turkey at least by those 3 goals. But they need a win either way. If you don't win, it doesn't matter. And so we got some feedback here from Joshua Betancourt. What's up, Joshua? Back in my hometown, I believe, in Hudson, Massachusetts. He's got Italy looks like the top team in the tournament. I agree so far. I do agree so far. I'm just waiting to see when they play a Belgium, or they play a Netherlands, or they play a France. But I got France a little bit ahead of everybody else. But right now, in terms of play, yes, Italy is right now the best team in this tournament in terms of what they've done up to this point. All right, so we're going to talk about tomorrow, but I've got a video to play here. And actually, speaking of the man, he just dropped in the chat here. It's James Mixed Picks. So far, France looked dominant versus a very good German side. It's interesting. We fade my plays, and I didn't see them as dominant as James here is seeing them. Maybe because the bar is set so high for France that I didn't feel that they were as dominant as I was expecting. Now, at the same time, France is a team that can control without the ball. They're very, very good at making you do what they want you to do, and that's just as good as having possession. But James is the subject of the next segment, so I am glad he just chimed in because his segment is coming. James is going to predict tomorrow's matches for us. I'm going to play the video for you guys right now. It'll be just one more moment here.
What is up, y'all? James Makes Picks here, coming at you with a quick breakdown of the Euro matches on the pitch tomorrow. From a gambler's perspective, I got to thank Mr. Benfica for having me on the show. It's an honor. I'm glad to be here, and I hope to be back in the future with more breakdowns like this. So we got 3 games tomorrow on the pitch. The first one's Ukraine and North Macedonia. Ukraine have lost only 1 of their last 7 games. However, they have conceded in 5 of those matches, and they conceded 3 to the Netherlands their last time out on Sunday. North Macedonia, meanwhile, have scored in each of their last 6 matches. They've actually scored 15 goals during that stretch, and they beat Germany 2-1 in that stretch as well. So even though they're outclassed by most teams in this tournament, I don't think they should be ignored. They have proven they can score. On the other side of the pitch, Ukraine, their attack should have no issue scoring versus North Macedonian defense. Yarmolenko has been in excellent form. So has Yaremchuk and Zinchenko. I mean, that front for Ukraine can find the back of the net. Yarmolenko has scored 41 goals and 95 appearances for Ukraine, so he's pretty much been on fire ever since he started playing for his country. He also has 3 goals in his last 2 games. I like Ukraine to get this done, but don't count on North Macedonia scoring. I like both teams to score at minus 104. That's the best value for this game. On to the next one. I'm going to take we're going to Denmark versus Belgium. Belgium has scored an average of 2.7 goals per match across their last 10 fixtures. They've won 8 of those. They drew the other 2. Lukaku's on fire. He's got 22 goals and 19 appearances for Belgium, the last 19. They have not struggled with KDB sideline, Kevin De Bruyne sideline with an injury. I don't think he's going to play this match either, but I don't think it's going to matter. They outclassed Denmark, plus Denmark had the unfortunate issue with Christian Eriksen last game. I don't know how you recover emotionally from that. Plus, he was their best player, and now he's no longer on the pitch. So the fact that the books are giving us plus money on the money line for Belgium, take it. It's plus 110 for Belgium. That's my play for that game. I think Belgium can comfortably get this done so they can not have to worry about the last match, guarantee their spot in the final 16, rest up their injured players, and come out strong for that. So give me Belgium on the money line. And in the last game, we got the Netherlands versus Austria. 3 of the last 4 meetings between these two teams have seen Holland win and over 3.5 goals. And both teams have scored in 5 of Austria's last 6 competitive matches. The Netherlands gave up 2 goals in that thriller versus Ukraine in their first group match. Austria scored 3 in their opener, so I expect a lot more goals in this one. Both sides have enough talent on the attack to cause some issues for the opposition's backline. I expect we see some fireworks from the likes of Diepe and Weghorst and the like up front. Both teams can score here. The Dutch ultimately, I think, are the more talented team. I think this wins out in the end. But I do think that Austria can add to the scoreline, so I really like the over 2.5 goals at minus 137. But I do think the Netherlands can win. Their money line's a little juicy, but you can parlay their money line with the over 2.5 and get plus money at plus 128. It's pretty good value there too. But that's my breakdown for these 3 games. Again, thank you to Mr. Benfica for having me on. You can follow me on Twitter at James Makes Picks and find me on Better Than Vegas under James Makes Picks. Thanks a lot, guys, and let's have a day.
All right, now that I'm unmuted, thank you, James, for that. That was great. I really appreciate that contribution, and it brings a different dynamic to this show. And I like what he's so James comes from the betting background, as do most of my guests, as you can tell. I like the betting guys because they bring a lot of data. They bring a lot of reason why they think things. See, I'm all over hoping for Denmark tomorrow and it's all sentimental. It is nothing to do with any type of logic or any type of data. And James just told you why Belgium's basically going to win. What you really got to do, guys, if you're listening, if you're watching, especially if you're listening to the podcast, is download this show and then go to your favorite online betting site tomorrow. First thing, okay, before these matches start, see if you watch the live stream, you get the advice before the games happen. If you wait for the podcast to drop, by the time you get around to listening, by the time you're in your commute or you're at the gym, wherever it is that you listen to your podcast, you know what, the game might be already underway and you might have lost a chance to make some good money. And James has great advice there. And I like the number he brought out about North Macedonia as well. Yeah, they don't get shut out. They don't get held to clean sheets, which is a good thing, and that's why they're here is essentially their ability to put the ball in the net. And they even have that historic win over Germany in World Cup qualifying before we switched gears and headed here for Euro 2020. He likes Belgium. I'm thinking in my heart of hearts, I'm thinking, because I'm not using logic, and that's why, as much as I like to put money down on games, it's in a much smaller quantity, and it's at a different. I don't do this when I have this emotional attachment. And of course, what happened with Christian Eriksen this past Saturday has everybody, I think, paying attention to this Denmark team. And I believe one of two things are going to happen. What James said is either going to happen, and that's the more likely of the scenarios, what I'm, I guess, dreaming of here of a Denmark that comes out and rallies around this fallen teammate, a country that picks this team up also because they're playing at home, and I'm going to verify that. I'm pretty certain they're playing at home. They are in fact playing at home, and they come out here and somehow earn this glorious draw, get a point, and then beat Russia. I believe they're going to beat Russia in the last game. I do. If they get a point tomorrow, they're looking at a very, very high mathematical probability that they will advance. So their tournament is on the line tomorrow. So I'm going to say that I hope that Denmark come away with something. As much as I love watching this Belgian team play, like they're one of the best, the top ranked team in FIFA. They're FIFA's number 1 ranked team. And I don't know anybody who doesn't like watching them play, but the storyline is so attractive with Denmark tomorrow. But we'll see what kind of psychological state Denmark is even in. So there's no way of knowing. But Belgium, are going to be strong. Okay, again, that Ukraine North Macedonia match, Ukraine showed a lot of heart against the Netherlands last Saturday. They got guys that can score. They got forwards that can score. And I personally like Shevchenko as a manager, and I'm looking at their probable lineup. I mean, just in the attack, Yarmolenko, Yaremchuk, Shaparenko. You've also got Merlos off the bench. You've got some real talent in this team, and I don't see them not winning, obviously. But on the other side, you've got a North Macedonia team that's probably saying this is our, they didn't get their victory against Austria, which was their chance to win and to get points. But I think they're gonna give it a go, and I think they're gonna like their chances as much as they would have against Austria. You got Goran Pandev in the attack. Everybody knows him. He is the face of this team. And again, like JMP just said, they've scored in each of their last 6 games, totaling 15 goals, including a win over Germany. So it'll be interesting to watch that one as well. And in the nightcap, I love the Netherlands. I'm not going to get into the both team to score thing. That's where my that's when my wallet gets really empty, because I start to what I call get greedy a little bit. But it's I like the Netherlands in that matchup. I really like Memphis Depay. He's one of the players I really, really enjoy. Looking at them right now, they are. Jorginho Wijnaldum is playing well. Frankie de Jong, Martin de Root there in midfield. You still got De Ligt, who didn't play in the last match. There's depth, there's ability. They showed a little bit of fortitude as well last match, in coming back and getting the win after blowing a 2-0 lead. So maybe that's the test they needed to really believe in themselves. I wanted to address James's comment that came in while the video is playing, and this is regarding France and Germany. He believes they controlled the whole midfield. I did agree with that. They are masters at controlling without possessing, and I like that, because you do a lot. And we said that they made Germany do a lot of the work. They forced them to do the work. And I also agree that the attackers are only going to get better. And when you've got Kylian Mbappe in your team, come on. I mean, he's I think they called him Olympic level sprint speed, and he looks like it against these defenders. He looks phenomenal. And it's, I mean, yeah, France are the favorites. I keep, we talk and we try to find a way to bring them back to the pack a little bit. It's almost like a cycling race where you have the peloton or the lead chase group. So you have the leader, which is France, in my opinion. They're out there. Then you have the lead chase group. You got your Belgium, your Portugal, your Italy now, your Netherlands. Yeah. Those are probably the 4 in the chase. And then there's Germany, There's a couple other teams that are above average that are not in the peloton, and then you got everybody else back. That's how I see the race right now to July 11th, the team that's going to end up lifting this trophy. All right. That's going to do it for this episode 47. I want to thank everyone who watched live tonight and who contributed in the comments section. Thank you so much. Whether you're watching on Facebook, on YouTube, or on Periscope, thank you again. The Periscope, of course, is available on the PTB Media Twitter page. That's at PTB_media. It's another night in the books. I'll be back tomorrow to talk about 3 more matches and to look at Friday's matches as well. And Fade My Plays will be back here tomorrow with me. That's the plan right now. So it'll be fun to have another voice and to get more opinions and more perspective. And I hope everyone again enjoys the games tomorrow. I hope you enjoyed them today. Thank you for listening to the podcast. If you have any feedback, constructive, critical, whatever, positive, it doesn't matter. If you hate the show, you can let me know as well. Just drop an email at ptbmedianetwork@gmail.com or hit me up on the Twitter or Instagram handle you see there on your screen at PTB_media. And don't forget, if you're on the podcast, like, subscribe, share this page, okay, or this podcast, excuse me, whether it's Apple, Spotify, TuneIn, Castbox, Amazon. Again, if it's Amazon, all you got to do is tell Alexa to play Parking the Bus podcast. That's going to do it for tonight. I'll catch you next time here on the Parking the Bus podcast. And hopefully tomorrow I'll have time to get you some Copa America coverage because match day 2 kicks off tomorrow in Copa America. And that's always going to be bonus coverage in the podcast form only. And so look for that in the morning. It's now 9:15. I don't believe I'm getting that done tonight. So hopefully tomorrow we can get to that. Anything else, just hit me up if you got any thoughts. If you think I'm off on something, I'm always happy to hear from everybody. And this has been a pleasure so far. Tomorrow we'll make a complete week of nightly podcasts. All right. Thanks, everybody. I'll catch you next time here on the PTB Media Network. It's the Mr. Mike Agustinu signing off.